Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today I'm going to be making a mermaid tumbler, but not like the mermaid scale tumbler I've made in a previous video. This is going to be more of a peekaboo glitter styled mermaid tumbler with paints. There's going to be a lot going on, but it's going to be really pretty. And for today's video, I'm going to be using a 12-ounce mason jar tumbler from Maker Flow Crafts. I'll make sure to put their link down in the description. So it's very important whenever you're using anything with a screw-on lid like this. You want to take this off. You don't want to get any paint or epoxy on the rim right here, because then this is not going to screw down properly. So definitely make sure you get this taped off. I'm just using painter's tape, and I know this is like way too wide, but I think it'll be okay. I'm just going to come about right here and get all of this taped off before I start painting. And unfortunately, it is raining cats and dogs outside, so I cannot take this outside to spray paint. I'm gonna have to use the dreaded acrylic paint method for getting this tumbler good and prepped. I'm just gonna push this down inside, and there we go. So now this is good and safe and ready to go for painting. So I'm not doing anything to the lid yet. I may or may not do something to it later. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just starting off with some white apple barrel acrylic paint. I got a big old thing of it because I tend to use more of it than any other colors. And this is just a cheap brush that I got from, I think, Dollar General, maybe. Came in a pack of like a bunch of different sizes. So this is probably going to take at least 2 or 3 coats to get it completely covered. That's why I said the dreaded acrylic paint prep method, because it does take a while. You gotta wait for it to dry, and then you gotta do another coat and wait for that to dry and try to get everything good and smoothed out, and it's just a pain in the butt. But even though it's raining, gotta keep on keeping on. So I'm going to let this sit. You can see there's a lot of lines. I'm going to let it sit and dry, and then come back and do another 2 coats maybe until this is good and covered. Okay, so now this is about as good as I'm going to get it. The next step, I'm going to use a glitter from the glitter grind that I have never used before. This is called Silver Moon. And these are shards, so it's not like your chunky or your ultra fine. These are shards. And guys, I don't think the camera is even going to pick up the amazingness of the sparkle that this has. I hope it does, but oh my gosh, like I opened it up and got it all over myself, of course, because that's what I'm famous for. But it is gorgeous. So I'm going to use Mod Podge and my makeup brush, like always. Give her a good coating and apply this Silver Moon. Now I'm going to make sure to get this tape off immediately after glittering, like before I seal it or anything, because I don't want anything to dry aside from the paint. I think the paint should be fine, but I don't want the glitter to dry and stick to that tape, and then I peel the tape off and then it would just mess everything up and I would cry. So make sure whenever you're doing something, you've got the rim taped off. Remove the tape immediately after glittering. Alright guys, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on camera so much, but holy bananas. She pretty. Oh my gosh. And I'm trying to refrain from taking the lid off. You know what? No. I'm too impatient for this. I'm taking the lid off. I'm just going to try to sprinkle very lightly so I don't get like big globs. Oh my gosh, the sparkle is unreal. I never thought I would have such like an appreciation for glitter. And then I started making tumblers and I found the glitter grind, and it's like, holy crap. Gorgeous. Wow. You know what? I'm over it. Why? If I'm famous for anything, it's not going to be She was the best tumbler maker ever. It's going to be, she made a mess. Everything she did, she made a daggone mess. Okay, so this is stunning. I really hope you can pick this up because wow. I'm going to go, and this is so soft. Like, it's just like fluffy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's fluffy. This is a fluffy glitter. So, it doesn't really look like it needs pushed down either. It's pretty good. So I'm going to put this back into the container here, what I didn't spill on my table. Luckily I have a nifty little desk vacuum for that. And then I'm going to immediately take off that tape. That is so pretty. So, so pretty. Okay, now if I can find where this tape begins, I'll remove it. I might have to just cut it. Where's my knife? Where is my knife? There it is. That'll work. Okay. Now we have a nice, crisp, clean line, and I will have to get the rest of that tape later because I wasn't thinking, and it's like tucked down in here, and I have the pool noodle. Well, I might be able to get it. There we go. Ah, there we go. So pretty. So clean. Okay. So that's what I have. I'm going to let this Mod Podge dry for a good 5 minutes. Wash my hands because of course this happens, and I'm going to spray this with Rust-Oleum 2 times clear, like probably 3 times, because I do not want this stuff to move. It's perfect the way it is. It's gorgeous, and I want to keep it that way. So going to seal it 3 times, letting each coat dry in between. And then pop it on my turner from Bama Cups. If you guys seen my video I put on my Facebook group yesterday. Well, as of today filming, I put it on there yesterday. So by the time you see this, I put it on there a few days ago. And I got a new turner that I'm super excited about. So, gonna use that. Put 2 coats of epoxy on it, and then I will be back. So now there's 2 coats of epoxy on this. There's just a couple rough spots here and there, but I can take care of that by sanding it. It's not even really going to take that much. So I've got everything good and smooth now since I sanded it. I found this mermaid scale file on Etsy. I'll make sure to put the link down in the description. It was super duper cheap. It was like 75 cents or something like that. And it was perfect for what I want to do. So I printed it out. It's going to be a little difficult, I'm sure, to put it on here because of the taperedness of this tumbler. It's pretty straight right here, but I'm talking like just a little bit right here. So it might be a little difficult, but I'm wanting to wrap this file completely around and start on my peekaboo. So I chose a color of vinyl that I don't care to waste because we are going to be removing it. And then I cut out a big piece of transfer tape, which this is not your typical transfer tape. This is clear laminate from Family Dollar. It comes in a really big roll, lasts me forever. And that's what I use for my transfer tape because real transfer tape is super expensive. So I'm going to start by removing just a little bit of this laminate and putting it down here on my file. Trying to look up and make sure I'm in frame. And then slowly pull that backing to get my transfer tape on my file. I lost a scale. Oh no. I didn't even realize that until just now. I lost it in the weeding process and didn't even realize it. It must be around here somewhere. I'll have to find it. Oh my gosh, it was on my thumb. That's funny. So I'm going to stick that over here so I can put it on later. Let me just get all of this up. And I'm gonna peel back just a little bit. And I'm gonna set my tumbler down on my cup cradle that I got from Bama Cups. Definitely go check him out because this helps a ton. And I'm going to get my decal on there straight as I can. Like I said, with this tapered at the very top there, it might be a little difficult. All right. And now I'm just gonna turn and pull very slowly, just a little bit at a time, to get all of those scales on. So all of the scales are on. I did go through and kind of straighten or flatten some of the ones that got messed up because I don't want any of the paint from the peekaboo process to get under those scales because then it'll just mess everything up. So I am just kind of like squishing it, going through, making sure all of the scales are on there good and flat because I don't, like I said, I don't want any of the paint to get under them. So for the paints, I am using these gorgeous colors that were gifted to me from the glitter grind. This is the same brand of paint that I used on my other mermaid scale tumbler. This is Opal Magic from Art Alchemy. These are at the glitter grind. As soon as I saw these colors, I thought mermaid, so I had to try it. And I have mason jars, so it's perfect. Let me see. This one is Frozen Berries. This one is blue gold, and this one is green gold. So like I said, these are opal, very like color shifty, super duper pretty. So I'm going to be using all of these, and I'm going to be using a technique that I saw Sandy from Sandy's Organized Chaos use. I wanted to make sure to give her credit because I did not think of this. She did a tutorial, I think a couple weeks ago, where she just took some paints and just played with it, and she just kind of did strokes of the paint all around it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what I'm going to be referencing for this style. And of course I'll be using 3 different paint brushes. So now that everything is ready to go, let's get started. I'm really excited for this, if you can't tell. So I'm going to open these bad boys up. I did shake them really well before I opened them because they have just been sitting for a couple weeks now because I've just not known what to do with them. And thankfully I got some inspiration from Miss Sandy. These are so pretty. I'm sure the camera's probably not even going to capture how pretty they really are. So I've just got some random paint brushes, and I am not going to spray paint over this because these are going to be opal, and if I can get some of this glittery look to kind of show up very faintly under the colors, I'm okay with that. So I am not really doing anything like particular. I am just doing some strokes with my paintbrush here. I'm not totally sure what to do with the bottom just yet, so I'll just put a little layer of paint over that. But pretty much all I'm doing is just randomly stroking some paint onto the tumbler. I might go over it a little bit just to make sure everything is good and pigmented. But for the most part, this is just random. Don't think about it, just do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going to stop there. It's really hard to stop, but I am going to stop. I'm going to clean up this rim a little bit with just a cotton ball and some acetone. Let this completely dry, and then we can take off the vinyl. So while I'm waiting for that paint to dry, remember how I talked about when I first started the video that I was going to set the lid aside. It's going to be plain. I might do something to it. I am going to bedazzle it. So I'm going to put some rhinestones up here, covering the entire top. I'm going to leave the sides alone. So to do that, I have Liquid Fusion, and all of these rhinestones were from Amazon. I'll make sure to put links down in the description for everything. And then I also have my little rhinestone picker, also from Amazon. So just know whenever you're working with rhinestones, when you're putting it on with Liquid Fusion or E6000 or whatever you use, do not epoxy over it. They're not going to go anywhere. If you epoxy over it, the rhinestones are really going to lose their shine, so just leave them alone. Really cool, you don't have to epoxy over that. So I'm going to show you guys the process of how to get all of the rhinestones on here. So I'm going to start with these rhinestones because they are my favorite. If I run out or if I need like some little tiny ones to fill in gaps, I'll come over to these. But as of right now, I'm just going to use these ones. I'm going to start by putting just a little bit of this Liquid Fusion around the lid, and then pick up my rhinestones and start placing them one by one. Now that was way too much glue, but it came out a lot quicker than I anticipated. But it's okay. So I don't know if you can see very well, but there is just a little gap right there, and I cannot fit another one of these rhinestones in, so that's where I'm going to come in and fill it in with a really tiny one over here. But pretty much for the rest of this, I'm just going to fill in everything in a circle like you just seen, and continue doing that until everything that I want covered is covered. So for right now, this is all done. I don't have to do anything else to it other than let it dry. I may or may not put some up here, but for now I'm going to leave it as is. Now we get to pick off all of these scales. So since epoxy is the only thing left I need to do, I'm going to stop this video here. I will make sure to put the finished look just with epoxy over this. I'm not doing anything else, but with epoxy over it on my Instagram at courtneyscustoms.llc. If you do not have an Instagram, I always put the finished looks of stuff in the community page here on YouTube. But here it is with the lid and the straw and everything. I think it looks really cute. I may give it to my daughter because she loves mermaid stuff, so we'll see if she wants it or not. And before I go, like always, I have y'all's cup of positivity for the day. And today's quote is, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." And that was said by Michael Jordan. That's it for today, guys. I really hope you all enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!